Republicans' attempt to boycott the global warming bill by refusing to show up for work failed miserably yesterday, as Chairwoman Barbara Boxer managed to push the bill out of the Senate Environment Committee without a single Republican vote. It was a move that prompted the ranking Republican on the committee, Senator James Inhofe, to vow that, quote, her action signals the death knell for the bill. Passing a bill now equals its death knell. I sat down this week with Al Gore, Nobel Peace Prize winner, former vice president, and author of the new book, Our Choice, A Plan to Solve the Climate Crisis. I asked Mr. Gore if Senator Inhofe is going to have any more luck pressing his case internationally than he has so far in the Senate. Senator Inhofe says that he is not only opposed to global warming legislation to cap and trade and other things in this country, he's planning on sending what he calls a truth squad to Copenhagen next month to try to undermine America's negotiating position at that conference. What is the impact of something like that on our international credibility? I know how Jim Inhofe is viewed in the Senate here. How is he going to be viewed abroad?
I think that the rest of the world's long since come to understand that there are some loud deniers here in the United States. I don't think they pay much attention to him. I don't want to be diminishing in that comment, but I just think that's the case. And there's some of them in other countries, and we don't pay much attention to them.
Are you worried that a big expansion of nuclear power may be part of what's needed for a political compromise in order to pass legislation here?
I think there probably will be a provision added to the bill in the Senate to increase yet again the subsidies for nuclear power.
You say yet again because it's already heavily subsidized.
It is very heavily subsidized, but I do think it's responsible to research and develop new generations of nuclear power. I think that the market has turned thumbs down on nuclear power. There's also a weapons proliferation risk. The new technologies for enriching nuclear materials shorten the distance from reactor fuel to weapons-grade material. And during the 8 years I worked in the White House, every single nuclear weapons challenge that we faced was connected to a reactor program. Look at what's going on in Iran right now and North Korea right now. So it's not an option that's scalable very easily on a global basis. And in developed countries, there is yet another problem that's probably even more formidable, and that's cost. The present generation of nuclear reactors are very expensive. They've been a huge disappointment to the utility industry. They only come in one size, extra large, and utilities don't want to bet the farm or their whole construction budget on an uncertain prospect. Not a single reputable engineering firm in the world that I know of is willing to back up an estimate of how long it will take to complete one of these plants or how much it will cost to do so. The cost has been increasing 15% per year for quite some time now. A lot of reasons behind that. There may be some solutions, but no matter the size of the subsidies, I think the market is highly resistant to this choice, particularly as conservation and efficiency and renewables begin to capture a progressively larger share of the energy marketplace.
You mentioned North Korea there in terms of proliferation challenges. I'm not sure if you can talk about this, and I didn't ask you, I would tell you I was going to do it ahead of time, but when Laura Ling and Yoona Lee from Current TV were arrested and held in North Korea, you and Current kept very quiet about the situation until it was resolved. Can you tell us now that it is resolved about the strategy there, about how personally involved you were in that situation?
Well, I was very deeply involved on a daily basis, but I was involved in ways that led me to incur an obligation to not to talk about all that took place.
For strategic reasons.
Yes, and because of the folks that were helping me out. And so I just got an email from Laura just about an hour ago. They're safe. I'm so happy that they're back. So grateful to President Clinton for being willing to go when they said they would accept a visit from him. Just very, very safe, happy that they're safe.
Were mistakes made in that led to them being arrested? Are there lessons to be learned for American journalists, for Current, for actually for our relations with North Korea in terms of how that situation was resolved?
Well, Laura and Una themselves put out a very moving piece on exactly, well, not all the details, but what happened, and they themselves acknowledged that they made a serious mistake. You know, as for us keeping our silence, you know, the New York Times did the same thing in Pakistan, and other organizations from time to time have found that the circumstances make it very wise to take that approach. We took that approach in a very considered way, and it was the right strategy.
Former Vice President Al Gore, it's such a pleasure to have this chance to talk to you. Thanks for taking the time in your very busy schedule.
Well, the pleasure is mine, and keep up the great work.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Yeah.